Oh, oh man. Oh, that was I honestly could say that was a fucking adventure. Damn, that is just wow. Okay, anyway. Hello to all of our beautiful listeners. So, unfortunately, today Billy wasn't able to make it because of um his own little adventures going on. Maybe he is busy. God knows what potatoes do, because we have because us potatoes we have our own lives going on. I have this podcast thing that I'm really really passionate about. I'm not sure about him, so he's probably playing golf. He's probably playing peeling my skin off, kind of game. It's a sick game that we usually play um, in some cultures, but I don't particularly like to do that because it really hurts, especially when the fact that when your potato skin wouldn't be able to grow back, so that's a big issue. Well, not in the case for the Northman people, or I think you can say they're Scandinavians, I guess. Well, here's the thing. So I've just recently watched this really awesome film called The Northman. Okay, directed by Robert Edgars. I'm pretty sure everyone here, or well, not everybody, but I'm pretty sure some people are familiar with him. He've done the Witch, which came out in 2015. He has done what else has he done? Let me double check. He has done a couple of films. Oh yeah, The Lighthouse, which I actually have not seen myself. I'm really really embarrassed by. But yeah, he has made that. I think he also wrote and direct most of his films, from what I've heard. I might be wrong. But at least for this one, he did wrote and direct, and he also has, I think he has a co-writer like alongside him, just to maybe course correct, or maybe improve the consistencies of the script a little bit. But anyway, this is starring really really crazy, um I'd say A-lister cast. Um, Not like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, no, but I would say you probably have recognized a few of these people. So Nicole Kidman, I'm pretty sure she's still an A-lister. She you probably would be spending millions of dollars if you have her in your movie, right? I don't think she's that cheap anymore. Okay, but I'm pretty sure maybe some of you might recognize Alexander Skarsgård, who is in the film called, what's that stupid film called? The Legend of Tarzan or something. That was what, 5 years ago. The Tarzan movie nobody really cared about. I think Margot Robbie's also in that one too. I don't know, but I'm not interested with that. Me either. I think a lot of people aren't either. So never mind. Uh, hey, my man Ethan Hawke is back. I've actually just seen the Black Phone. I think yesterday. Yeah, no, 2 days ago. It was on Monday. It was actually a screening night, by the way. So I literally have to sit through like about a 20-minute kind of talk with Scott Derrickson and like his interviewer and the writer of the film. I'm not super interested with that because I kind of know what they would probably say ish. Something that caught up my eye is that, oh, apparently there are cheap jump scares. There are really effective ones, and that's the tough part for filmmakers to make it effective jump scares. So, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then they turn into that a little bit deeper to the technical aspect. But anyway, the Black Phone is really good. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go to this. If it's playing in around you, you go and see it, please. Uh please make more movies like this. it's it's such a breath of fresh air, I would say, compared to like all these um like super big budget, flabbergasted Marvel schlock, or even the horror community itself is also starting to get a bit stale. Like Insidious, The Conjuring 3 that came out 2 years ago. I don't care about that. Um, yeah, it's nice to see a film like this, like The Northman, to be made. Because this movie is not cheap at all. Because you got people like Nicole Kidman, and now with Anya Taylor Joy, who actually have worked with Eggers in The Witch. I kind of like. Uh, I think you probably would be at least spending 1 million when you have her on your film too. Um, yeah, there's also like this guy from what's them. It's actually a really good series called Dracula, the BBC miniseries Dracula. I actually like that one, even though a lot of people say it's like it's woke trash or like whatever. But I actually do enjoy it, honestly. I don't think it's great, but for what it is, it's pretty interesting take on the Dracula mythos. Minus the last episode, but it's whatever. I mean, at least they try to do something unique. And also, I'm not gonna tell you like a special guest in this film, which I well, probably you probably would know who is it if you actually Google it. But if you haven't have any idea, you can go see for yourself. Anyway, uh, damn this. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. This movie is such a crazy, crazy um roller coaster ride. I'm not kidding you. I was I thought that because here's the thing, right? I was actually pretty um kind of looking forward to it, but not really at the same time. And I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh my god, it's great! You should fucking see it, bro. It's so like it's so you know masculine, but obviously in the in the context of its time, that's how masculinity is portrayed, which I understand. And movie is really hyper masculine in in many ways. Like there's like scenes where mm, darn, what's his name? Alexander Skarsgård's character, Amleth, right? He's affiliated with this tribe of um basically like man wolves. So they hunt villages and a particular group of people, and you know kill them, maybe even rape them and stuff like that. And eventually they would growl, or they would even like we do the wolf howling to kind of incentivize their like dominance, right? Which is actually a very primal instinct of animals too. So I really really like the aspect. So they actually try to stay as kind of quite close to um like how people back then probably would act like, even down to the way they even speak. Damn, they speak in Old English. Well, not Old English, but it's closer to Shakespearean, like dialogue that you not a lot of film actually um does like these days. Even period pieces now, period pieces people talk if even though it's in the it's in the age where modern English is not even a thing. The English that they spoke is closer to what you usually read in Shakespeare literature back in high school. That's what it probably would sound like. But for some reason, modern films just don't do it. It's like The Favorite. I don't know why they spoke like that. that's like one of the few flaws that I found from that kind of film, and maybe even like I don't know, uh, Lord of the Rings is kind of in the middle. And it's okay. Uh, but yeah, yeah, you get my point. But then here's the thing, right? Like back to the point of yeah, I thought I'm gonna just freaking shut my eyes and just go to sleep. No, um, I don't. I myself, okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy or any of the films. Okay, I don't like The Hobbit at all. I'm okay with Lord of the Rings. I get why there's fans for it, but it's not for me. I'm more of a Potterhead, I guess, even though I'm not even really a big fan of those two. I think because is that um just the way you know period pieces or these period fantastical uh story just communicate to me is it just doesn't land or something. I guess that's the reason why, or I'm just not really a nerd for these kind of little bits of lore building of the old ancient um yeah, like these old ancient like these old ancient uh I don't know, like artifacts or histories or like whatever. I'm not really like that kind of nerd. I'm more of the kind of a comic book type, you know. If even though I don't really like how Marvel and well, DC maybe it's a different story, but at least I don't like how Marvel's doing their movies like these days. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, back to this. Um, yeah, damn, this everybody here does a fucking fantastic job. I'm serious. Every single person just gives all of their, you know, their 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 spirit and their soul and whatever is in that. Because you don't think that oh yeah, this is an actor playing a character. It's like nope. I actually I really like Skarsgård's portrayal of this really buffed really vengeful um, you know, primal, man wolf. Because just the way he acts, and even the way he even talks, and the kinds of things that he says to people, you kind of want to punch him. It's I don't know how to describe it. I want to punch him because he's kind of too simple minded. But then again, I have to understand. I have to remind myself this is the period where people don't really use rational thinking that much. It's very streamlined and wherever goes, just go. If it's time for you to die, it's probably time for you to die. There's no cure for you. There's no doctors or whatever. Maybe there's some plague doctors, but that's a completely different thing. But yeah, I mean, you get my point. Damn. I like actually that this is a story of it's a story about revenge, but the way they present to us very it's not straightforward. It's not as straightforward as I thought. Because Jay from the Red Letter Media, he said that oh yeah, it's a really straightforward story. I don't know why people are very confused with just following along. Not really, because as much as the movie it does have a more straightforward narrative compared to maybe other Robert Eggers' films, it does have little bits of what's it called? Little bits of I guess fantastical, trippy elements. There's this scene where it's just showing you the family tree. So it starts from the bottom with Ethan Hawke's character who's playing Amlet's dad, right? Like King R King Arvandil Varreven. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's playing the king, and then and then it just goes like and the camera pans slowly to the slowly panning upwards, and then you're starting to see uh oh yeah, that's Amlet, and then you start to see like his kids and stuff like that. So, oh, okay. Oh yeah, I also forget to mention that before the camera shows you the king, during this trippy dream sequence, it actually starts from the bottom where you see like a lot of dead people, and I think those dead people is supposed to be those their ancestors who obviously die because of old age and natural causes. It's like wow, that's a really really. That's a really cool way to actually show the family, the family bloodline tree. Oh, okay, wow. Um, and then even the story of the revenge itself, right? I saw somebody made a comment about, oh yeah, it sounds like Revenge of the Sith. Uh, yeah, I can see that, but not really, because Revenge of the Sith is the story where a good guy just falls into the dark side. This one is this guy saw his dad get murdered, and he wants to take vengeance into his own hands. It's a bit different. I can yeah, that's supposed to be a joke, but I think that's this. I think the story itself is closer to um. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there's this We actually made a review about this a while back. It's called Arcane. Yeah, so you have like this character that has a tragic backstory, and then when they get older, they actually try to seek revenge. And Arcane, she's not doing it actively, but here that is his whole story. He is determined as fuck to kill the murder of his father, which is which actually is clearly shown in the movie. It's the king's brother, and I actually really enjoyed that. By the end of the film, the king's brother is actually turns out to be a an actually better king compared to the actual king himself, because um Amulet's mom, Queen Gudrun, I think, yeah, Nicole Kidman's character, she uh basically just does a bit of this exposition dump to Amulet directly and said, "Hey, your father is a complete a narcissistic idiot who wants just gold, silver, and sleep with a bunch of concubines and women and whatever, you know. And the reason why I have to marry him is because I was raped. Um, and I have a son, which is you." And it's like, oh, okay, you know, okay. It's not like big brain. Wow, I never thought about that. But it's like, but in the context of the story, it works, and that's completely fine. Okay. What else is there? Anya Taylor Joy. Anya Taylor Joy is great as well. Um, her role is not as big as, uh, let's say, in the Witch movie, because she just plays as the love interest, but her part is actually quite integral with the plot, because I think without her, Amleth would actually never mind. I probably I just forget what I said. I think, okay, even if she's here, right, it's still very very well put in, because you can have a love interest that's usually very shoehorned into the story and just doesn't flow with the narrative at all, and then it just comes as really awkward because they don't have like any chemistry. But here is that you can see why these two people actually can get along with each other and actually kind of fall in love in some ways, even though I don't really think it's the conventional, oh, I like him because he shares a lot of similarities with me, or we develop feelings, like modern times. No, it's more of based on survival instincts. And the reason, and yes, they have similarities, correct, because they're both kind of vengeful and a bit, there's, and even Anya's character, Olga of the Birch Forest, she has this sadistic nature to her too, and I think it's also implied in the film that she actually also is kind of a witch as well. Not too sure about that, but you guys can correct me. I'm not the expert. But yeah, damn. Oh man, Mr. Willem Dafoe. Oh boy, he has come a long way since, I don't know, Spider-Man 2. Like holy cow, this guy is the how is he not getting this much work? You know, because okay, back in the early 2000s where he's still playing well, he just played one the Goblin. Just I think just for two movies. I think the second one is just for him like playing the flashbacks, but still, he just playing this one character and he just hams it out to the max, and everybody just loves it, right? Well, hopefully, but at least I enjoyed it. And for some reason, he just kind of just didn't really do a lot of risky roles. And then one day he's like, "Hey, Lars von Trier, I want to be in your film, this fucked up film called Antichrist." And then they both just say, "Okay, let's do it." Okay, and then not much I've heard from him until one day it's like, "Oh, he's gonna be in the lighthouse." Oh yeah, sorry, he was in um a couple of Wes Anderson's like films, I think. And then eventually I think it's Robert Eggers who contacted him that said, "Hey, I want you to do this role where you're just playing this crazy man, this crazy old man living with this other guy in this isolated lighthouse. And we're gonna make a whole movie about it." And it's like, hell yeah, let's do it. And here, it's still good actually. It's still really good. But then again, his role he doesn't have like a huge role because I think he just basically got killed off in the film. But there's just one particular scene which I really it's still stuck in my head for some reason because I just finished watching the film like this morning. So it's just scene where what's the name? There's this uh like male witch. I think they called him He Witch. So He Witch apparently has the head of Heimer the Fool, which is Willem Dafoe's character, and basically just sang some hymns. I don't know what is exactly is it, but sang some sort of ritual like song or something, and puts his head in front of him, and then just kind of consciously spoke to like yes consciously telepathically spoke to Amleth when Amleth and the witch like he witch met together. Really really fucking weird, but I love it. mm. Man, I also really like the setting itself. You can tell it's completely almost completely done like impractical, almost completely practical. Um, there's awesome scene in the beginning where it's this. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be one take. I mean, these days one takes are kind of getting a bit more common, but okay, sometimes it can be a gimmick, right? Which I have a problem with. But in this case, when Amleth just drops down into into the village's like territory, so he jumped down from the wall, okay, and then he just starts like just axing people left and right, hacking someone's head, and cutting someone's like uh torsos. Like it's so grotesque and disgusting, and I love it. And it just goes on for about I think 10 minutes. It's so good. Oh man, I can just talk about the technical stuff the whole all the time, the whole night if I wanted to, but I don't think I've had that much time. Mm. And yeah, that is so freaking awesome. Um, everything about it. Okay, technically wise, it's fucking great. Okay, the way they yeah, the camera angles, how they use the yeah, how they utilize their one takes, blah blah blah. Um, costume design is fucking great too. I think it's I think it's pretty accurate even to the time. I'm not the expert, but I've seen I think enough like pure pieces to kind of tell that yeah, this is accurate. Oh, that's not accurate. It's like, oh yeah, this is definitely accurate. So because the thing is, I think Eggers is known to be like a nerd of doing histories and stuff, historical films, or just in this case, it's just this one. Even though it's fictional history, but because he wants to make it as accurate to Vikings as Vikings in the early 100 ADs, he just goes all the way to make sure make okay this one has to be this particular pattern or motif, or this clothing has to be like this for the slavery. This is how the king's supposed to look. The queen should be wearing this outfit and that outfit, and then and then it just all comes down together, and it just feels as if I'm actually there. Yeah, I'm actually as I'm actually in that time period without any maybe like one or two artifacts that feel out of place. Like, there's barely any of that. It's not like Game of Thrones where you see like a Starbucks cup at the corner of the street for some reason. I don't know why nobody digitally edited that out, but I guess it's there. Okay, you know. But damn, that's so good. I do have a few problems with the film, to be honest with you. I think maybe the runtime is a little bit too long. Okay, uh, could trim some scenes and maybe maybe reshoot some scenes to kind of uh, tighten up like the runtime a little bit. I don't think it's be too. How long is this film? 2 hours? Yeah, 2 hours 17 minutes. I don't think it has to be that long, but hey, it's still great. Still great. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit too long. Um, I guess. I don't know. I I can feel Hamlet's pain and suffering to want to do vengeance, but I don't think the film does a good job on just letting us knowing on an insight level where you understand almost completely why is he doing this. Okay, I understand why he wants to take revenge on his father, to kill the brother because obviously he is a killer. But I want to understand why he chose violence over other means of options, right? Yes, maybe okay, yes. You can tell me that yeah, this is the time, this is the time where people are very savage, just primal instincts. But yeah, I get it. But the film just still doesn't show me that part. It showed the beginning part of his childhood. I think it's a little bit. I wouldn't say it's rushed. It's just the way they construct the narrative is it's a little bit wasted. I would say because they could actually utilize that part to flesh out him as a kid, and then okay, now I see why he's very he chose violence. Oh, I see now why he has this kind of thinking. It doesn't really show me that kind of part because as a kid he's just like any other generic kid. It's like okay, he's just I guess just messing around with people's stuff. I guess I don't know. Looks really dumb, but I mean it's not dumb. It's just yeah, it's just wasted. I guess. Uh, what else is there? Honestly, the problem is I think it's just like very my minimal, and I don't love it. Like I don't love this film to be honest with you. I think it is just more of just preference. I guess I'm not really into this primal Nordic not just only Nordic, but just this kind of storytelling that's set in this time period, which I'm not really a huge nerd of. I like futuristic stuff myself. That's just me. That's why I like Star Trek. I like a bit of Star Wars. Well, used to like Star Wars, but whatever. I'm more of a futuristic thinker. I'd say, but this is still pretty good. Yeah, I'll definitely recommend people to watch this one. It's it's kind of an adventure. Like holy cow, the budget of this film is what 70 to 90 million. Holy cow! Because um, it says here on IMDb, for his two first films were made on the budgets of $9 and $4 million, around that much. And then this one is 70 million. Holy cow! Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, the budget does show very very well. It's very you can tell there's money there, like every fucking frame. Um, and apparently as well, this is also based on a book called I think it's what is it? 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪𝓽𝓪. His is basically a Nordic yeah, Nordic saying of history of the Danes, a collection of oral traditions with written around 1200 by Saxo Grammaticus. Hamlet inspired Shakespeare's Hamlet. Oh, I see now. I see. Though it is doubtful that Shakespeare read Grammaticus directly. Oh, okay. I see now. Yeah. Like I said before, there's this Shakespearean dialogue, Shakespearean literature dialogue involved with the way people speak in this film, which actually was pointed out here very very well. It's just yeah, it totally justifies that. Oh, so I was right. Okay, that's good to know. Director Robert Eggers also worked with historians and did meticulous research into the period to make sets, costumes, and props as authentic as possible. Yeah, like I said before, while also going back to the period before Christianity. Holy cow! Influenced Viking culture. Professor Neil Price, archaeologist at Uppsala University in Sweden, who worked on the movie as well, later stated that, quote unquote, the Northman might be the most accurate Viking movie ever made. Like, holy cow. If your archaeologist said that to you, you'll be like, really? I think, no. I think this part could be a little bit more, washed out. Or I think his hair could be a little bit more, I don't know, uh, I don't know, longer and really nasty looking. As I think, because I'm also like a creator myself, I will definitely be very humbled with like my own work. It's no, it's not that great. And then people somebody point out like, holy cow, man, you did this shit all by yourself. Like, wow, you know. So yeah, congratulations, Albert Eggers. This is legitimately a really really um even if it's not a good movie, maybe which I've seen reviews about that online or like earlier, you cannot deny the accuracy of the time period. But that's something to be really proud of, our beggars, be proud of what you have done. Great. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for this one. Next episode will be a Asian film, actually. That's one of my favorites. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this little indie film called Chungking Express. So if you want to hear about that, make sure to tune in to listen to the next episode. And then by next week, we are streaming on every single platform possible, whether it be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the podcasts that you can think of. You can also find us on social medias to get updated with the information. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even TikTok, which is not really up to date at this point. I'll get into that soon. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's what I thought about the film. I'm pretty sure if Billy is here, he'll probably think of the same thing too. He'll probably even make this video way longer with like, oh my god, it's just so great, like the accuracy of this little bits pieces. Like, yeah, I get it, but yeah, this is great. You guys should fucking go check it out, please. Totally worth your time. So, thank you for listening and get out. See ya.